you don't need 10 Hyrox sessions a week to prep for a Hyrox. You don't even need 5 or 3. I prep for a Hyrox with 1 specific Hyrox session a week. I'm Rachel, an online coach helping women get fitter and stronger and feel better and look better in their 30s and 40s than they did in their 20s. Now, this is the problem that a lot of women face. The idea that doing more is better. So whether that's you want to do a Hyrox, so you think the more Hyrox sims the better, the more Hyrox specific workouts you do the better. You want to run a 10k race, half marathon, a marathon, and you think more running is the answer. Or you want to build your glutes and you think more glute training is the answer. It's actually not what you need. Yes, as with most things, you need the correct dose. So you are going to need to do some of those things. It isn't a linear graph. So it's not the more you do, the better you become forever and ever and ever. It's more like a bell curve. So yes, you want the correct dosage of frequency, intensity, and that should be building over time with your training schedule. And you will hit a point where that is optimal and you are doing the right amount of training, you are making the right adaptations, and you're also recovering well so that you can keep repeating that. But if you continue to try and do more and more, that bell curve will drop off and it's actually going to become counterproductive. So it's finding that sweet spot. And often it's a lot less than you think, especially if you have been in the CrossFit space, if you have always done cardio type classes, if you have been chasing down calorie burn, exhaustion, doing more, feeling fatigued, thinking that that is what gets results. Now, I did a Hyrox last weekend in pairs, and so fair enough, we weren't in it to get a specific time. It was more about the experience and enjoyment of it. That being said, I was prepped and ready, and I also know if I did another one tomorrow, I would be able to do it. And that was off 1 Hyrox specific session a week. And even that wasn't massively intensive, heart rate through the roof, hammering myself into the ground. I have been able, over the last 6 months, to increase my strength and my fitness and prep for Hyrox on 5 sessions a week. Those 5 sessions have been 2 strength, a threshold run, a zone 2 aerobic run, and a mixed modal / Hyrox type session. That is it. And I'm the fittest and strongest that I've been. What a lot of women are missing is realising they need to build the foundational strength and foundational fitness, not go into prepping for something, throwing absolutely everything at the wall and seeing what sticks, seeing how much they can tolerate for how much progress they're actually going to make. For Hyrox specifically, you need a general base of fitness. You need to work on that capacity to just be able to go for a certain length of time continuously. You know, yes, you see people doing it sub-hour, but a lot of people, an hour and a half, 2 hours plus, that's a long time to be doing something. So you need to work on your aerobic base to be able to sustain that. You also need to be able to run the pace you want to be able to run at. You need to be able to do that consistently under fatigue, not 8 lots of fresh 1k efforts. You're working at that capacity that's required and trying to surpass that in your training to an extent so that you can show up on the day being able to sustain that pace. You need the baseline strength. There is a reason my legs didn't blow out on the walking lunges, on the sleds, on the wall balls, because I train heavy strength and I have done for a long time. My muscles are used to load and load under fatigue. You need to combine that with the running, so you need some compromised running effort. My upper body didn't blow up on the sled pushes and pulls or on the wall balls. Same reason. It's not always that you need to do more sled work, more wall balls. You need to build the foundational strength and muscular endurance in those strength movements as well, so that it's actually your body is able to tolerate that on the day. So yes, you need some skill work in there. You need to know how you should be rowing most effectively, skiing most effectively, the best sled push and pull technique for you, how to do burpee broad jumps consistently. Like, you need to practice the skill of those things, but just doing more and more of those things each week isn't necessarily going to get you better at the thing and more prepared for the thing. The same with running. Yes, if you want to run a marathon, you are going to have to increase your running volume over time. But far too many people, and I did this back in the day when I did a marathon, it's like 6 days a week of running and very little else. No foundational strength work, no mobility work. And a lot of it as well is practicing running at different paces, different speeds. It's not just going out and trying to run max distance constantly and hope for the best. If you want to build your glutes, again, yes, you need a little bit more frequency and volume for that muscle group for what your body can tolerate without having obscene DOMs and having the adverse effect. Doesn't mean you need to add glute work in 5-6 days a week. Most women, if you have been training for a little while, 3 days a week is a good amount of volume. Any more than that, especially if you're doing other things, it's just not going to have the desired effect. More is not better. And I will have conversations with women. You know, I'm no pro athlete, but I've been training for 12 years. I'm like, you're doing more training volume than I am as a well-trained individual. It's no wonder that you are fatigued. It's no wonder that you're not making progress, because that is then paired with under-fueling, under-recovery, and you wonder why you're going around in circles. It can feel really scary to scale it back, but you will get a better outcome by doing less, but doing better, more focused, more effective sessions. If this resonates, if you think, do you know what, this might be me, I am that person, I am pitching up to 5 Hyrox sessions a week, I am doing 2 training sessions a day, reach out, because there is an alternative where you can get fitter, stronger, and still look incredible by actually doing less. Comment below or drop me a message on Instagram. Would love to chat. See you in the next video.